Welcome to the CompTIA A+ Prepcast presented by baremetalcyber.com. Malware removal is not just about running a scan and deleting files. It involves a structured, methodical process designed to isolate the threat, eliminate the infection, and restore the system to a known good state. Each step must be executed in a precise order to ensure that the threat is fully eradicated and does not return through overlooked remnants. The A+ certification outlines a clear, industry-standard approach to malware removal. This sequence is critical for success on the exam and serves as a blueprint for real-world helpdesk procedures. Scenario-based and performance-based questions on the exam often require you to know not just what tools to use, but in what order and why. The first step in the malware removal process is identifying and verifying the symptoms. Before taking action, you must confirm that the issue is indeed malware-related. Symptoms may include slow performance, pop-ups, unauthorized file changes, or blocked security tools. To make this determination, technicians should rely on antivirus or anti-malware alerts, user-reported issues, and system logs such as those found in Event Viewer. It is essential not to jump to conclusions based on a single indicator. Multiple points of evidence should confirm the likelihood of infection before proceeding to containment and cleanup. Once infection is confirmed, the second step is to quarantine the infected system. This means physically or logically removing the system from the network to prevent malware from spreading to other devices. This can be done by disabling Wi-Fi, unplugging Ethernet cables, or disabling the network adapter through the operating system. Technicians should also prevent users from interacting with the system further, as continued use may trigger additional malicious activity. Quarantine is a containment measure designed to limit scope and damage before actual removal begins. The third step involves disabling System Restore in Windows. While System Restore is useful for recovering from configuration problems, it can inadvertently store malware in a restore point. If left enabled, the system may reintroduce the infection during future restoration. To disable System Restore, navigate to System Protection Settings and turn off protection for the affected drive. This ensures that scans will not skip infected files saved in system snapshots. Once the cleanup process is completed, System Restore can be safely re-enabled to provide recovery options in the future. The fourth step is the actual malware scan and removal phase. This is where technicians use updated antivirus or anti-malware software to perform a full system scan. Safe mode is often used during this step, as it disables unnecessary startup processes that could include malware components. The scan should be comprehensive and cover all files, processes, and registry entries. Infected files are either removed or quarantined depending on the severity and type of threat. This step often takes time, especially on systems with large storage volumes or complex infections. If malware persists after the initial scan, there are several additional strategies that can be employed. Second opinion scanners from reputable vendors can help catch what the primary tool missed. Some malware hides in browser settings or startup entries, so resetting the browser, uninstalling suspicious applications, or cleaning up startup items can also help. In advanced cases, such as rootkits or deeply embedded threats, a technician may need to use bootable rescue tools that run outside the operating system. If all else fails, professional cleanup or system re-imaging may be necessary. Once the system has been cleaned, the fifth step is to update all software. This includes patching the operating system, updating installed applications, and ensuring that antivirus definitions are current. Malware often exploits outdated software or known vulnerabilities to enter a system. Keeping the software environment fully updated reduces the chances of the same infection vector being used again. Updates should also include browser plugins, third-party frameworks like Java, and Office applications that are common targets for exploitation. With a clean system in place, the sixth step is to re-enable System Restore. This step creates a fresh restore point now that the malware has been eliminated. It ensures that if future problems occur, the user has a clean baseline to revert to. The technician should confirm that system protection is turned back on and verify that a new restore point is automatically created or manually initiate one. This completes the restoration phase of the process and prepares the system for normal operation. Finally, Step 7 is to schedule future scans. Antivirus software should be configured to perform regular scans automatically. Depending on the risk level of the user or environment, daily or weekly scans may be appropriate. Logs from these scans should be reviewed periodically to ensure no threats are missed. If a user frequently encounters malicious content or exhibits risky behavior, the technician may choose to increase the frequency of scanning or deploy more advanced endpoint protection tools to monitor behavior in real time. For more cyber-related content and books, please check out cyberauthor.me. Also, there are other prepcasts on cybersecurity and more at baremetalcyber.com. After completing the scanning and cleaning phase, the next focus is verifying that the system functions as expected. This involves checking that essential applications open properly, files are accessible, and internet connectivity is restored. The system should be rebooted to ensure no lingering malware attempts to reload at startup. Technicians should observe the system for several minutes after login to identify any recurring symptoms. If issues persist, additional scans may be required. Confirmation of normal system behavior is essential before returning the system to the user, especially in business environments where uptime is critical. Remediating browser settings and system configuration changes is often necessary after a malware infection. Many threats modify the browser's homepage, install unwanted extensions, or change domain name system settings. Technicians should reset the browser's configuration to its default state, remove unauthorized extensions, and verify security zones are correctly configured. The task scheduler should also be checked for rogue entries that may attempt to relaunch malware at specific intervals. Startup folders and registry keys that initiate software on login should be reviewed and cleaned to ensure the infection does not resurface. Startup entries are a common hiding place for persistent malware. These entries allow programs to run every time the system starts. Using tools like Task Manager, the System Configuration Utility, or third-party programs such as autoruns, technicians can disable or delete entries that are unnecessary or unknown. Removing these entries helps speed up the system and prevents hidden malware from executing on reboot. It is important to verify the legitimacy of each entry before removal to avoid disabling critical services or system components. Clearing temporary files and caches is another best practice following malware cleanup. Malware often hides or replicates in temporary folders, browser caches, and user session directories. Deleting these files removes residual traces of infection and frees up disk space. Tools such as disk cleanup or third-party utilities can assist with thorough removal of temp data. This step also resets cached settings and helps restore system performance, especially if the malware left behind scripts or payloads that could activate under certain conditions. Some infections may require specialized recovery tools. Bootable rescue disks, manufacturer-specific diagnostic utilities, or external malware scanners can operate independently of the Windows environment. These tools are especially useful when dealing with ransomware, rootkits, or malware that disables the operating system. Recovery tools can scan for threats at the lowest system level, including the master boot record or hidden partitions. When using such tools, technicians should document every action taken and ensure backups are created before making irreversible changes to system files or partition tables. User education is a vital step that should follow every malware removal case. Once the system is clean and functioning, the technician should explain to the user how the infection likely occurred and what behavior may have contributed. This may involve discussing phishing emails, suspicious download sources, or unsafe browsing habits. Users should be taught to verify URLs, avoid opening unsolicited attachments, and install software only from trusted vendors. Preventing reinfection is not just a matter of technical defense. It depends on informed user behavior and awareness of common threats. Consider a real-world example in which a user downloads what appears to be a system update from a fake website. The file installs a browser hijacker and keylogger that redirects search results and captures login information. The technician quarantines the system, disables restore points, and runs a full scan in safe mode. The malware is removed and the browser is reset. To prevent recurrence, the user is instructed to download updates only from the vendor's official site. A DNS filtering rule is then applied at the router to block known malicious domains. This layered approach prevents repeat infections. Documenting the entire event is essential for tracking recurring threats and supporting compliance in regulated environments. Logs should include the time symptoms were identified, actions taken, tools used, and the final result. If malware is part of a larger pattern or appears repeatedly in a particular environment, this documentation helps identify trends and strengthens organizational defenses. In some industries, such documentation is required for audits, incident reports, or post-mortem analysis following a broader security breach. Sometimes, malware is so persistent or destructive that manual removal is no longer practical. If a system remains unstable after multiple attempts or the infection cannot be fully removed, the technician must consider escalation. This may involve re-imaging the system from a clean image or restoring from a full disk backup. In either case, the decision should be based on efficiency. Continuing to troubleshoot manually should not take longer than a known good restore. A clean slate also helps ensure that no hidden components of the infection are left behind. In summary, the malware removal process follows a specific order: identify symptoms, quarantine the system, disable system restore, perform scans and removal, update the system, re-enable restore functionality, and schedule future scans. These technical steps must be reinforced with user education, documentation, and, when necessary, escalation to more invasive recovery methods. The A+ exam frequently tests this knowledge through performance-based and scenario questions, making it critical for candidates to understand both the individual steps and the overall strategy of malware remediation. Thank you for listening. Please visit baremetalcyber.com for more cybersecurity information, podcasts, books, and more.